This is the Conscious Hour, and this is the New Year's Eve last broadcast of the year. I'm going to do a quick recap, but I got to make something that's very important, and please pay attention. In the United States, years and many, many, many years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, we created a thing called the Federal Communications Corporation, FCC. And it was created because we didn't want to have private corporations, which are these ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, etc., putting out propaganda. And this we're witnessing right now when they started on October 7th saying it was an unprovoked attack. That was a bold-faced lie. And remember, they said they've had all these ceasefires. Okay, well, you forgot one thing, that on August 26th, Netanyahu gave an order to the Palestinians, 2.1 million of them, you have to leave. So what the U.S. media is complicit in is propaganda. They aren't telling you the whole story. I want you to listen very closely to Mahmoud. That's Mahmoud OD. He gives you accurate information, but listen to what's coming, because the United States, Netanyahu, and Trump agreed that we need to take care of Iran because they're getting nuclear capacity. Bullshit. They have a non-nuclear weapons program to build nuclear reactors for power and for medical isotopes. But listen to this, because you will not see this on the news. And they are pushing right now to take on all these countries. Netanyahu using the United States government, using our military to fight a illegal invasion of these other countries. Now he wants to get Somalia. He wants to take over everything. The Greater Israel Project. Listen to this. It's something you will not see on the Western media.
And the interesting part here is responses to threats are planned before those threats materialize. So we have a threat coming from the president, of course, and from one of the senior figures close to the supreme leader. Then, well, Netanyahu said that if they continue, or Trump said if they continue with their nuclear programs, then fast. Okay, well, here you go. Iran just said that it continues to develop peaceful nuclear industry. Where is the fast? Go and attack them then. Donald Trump said fast. Okay, you can fast attack them. The President of the United States definitely knows the Islamic Republic of Iran, backed by one of the longest human civilizations, is now under the guidance of a wise, brave, and great leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and a faithful and determined people, and as one of the powerful and independent countries in the world that will continue to peacefully advance its nuclear industry and legitimate defense power without the need for any foreign assistance, and will always support peace and stability in the region. We support peace and stability, but we also want to develop a peaceful nuclear program. What's so difficult about that? It's not very difficult at all. It's very understandable for any country to develop peaceful nuclear programs. As a matter of fact.
So if you were Iran, wouldn't you want to have nuclear weapons too? Because Netanyahu does. They had 440 nuclear weapons clear back in the, 40 years ago, 440. Then they had over 2,000 nuclear weapons, 2,000 to 3,000 nuclear weapons. So Israel is a nuclear weapon state, and Netanyahu has told the world he's taking over the entire region. So which side do we want to be on, America? We want to be on the side that we are spending our tax dollars with an illegal invasion into sovereign nations because we want to take over their resources? Do we really want to go down this road? Let's go a little further, and then I'll explain what the capacity is of Iran and the other countries that have now come together in a pact. Russia, China, Yemen, Turkey's even standing by. A whole bunch of countries are ready to stop Netanyahu and the U.S. if they go ahead and provoke a regional war, which could turn into a world war. Let's listen a little more.
In fact, there were recent reports as well that from the Iranian media that Iran delivered advanced ballistic missiles, including Khorramshahr and Hajj Qasim, to its armed forces, amid indications that Israel is preparing for potential strikes. And they were also publishing videos in the Iranian media about these missiles and preparations coming from Iran to thwart or to counter any attack coming from Israel and also potentially the United States of America.
Check out
Now,
those
I
missiles,
also
folks.
saw movements of very large missiles from China and Russia too. China that relates to Taiwan, and Russia that relates to Ukraine. However, the things are definitely heating up. But from an Iranian perspective, it's clear that they're not backing down. And again, Donald Trump said yes, he would approve if they continue their ballistic missile. Iran is in effect challenging him, saying, well, look, here you go. We are continuing to develop missile and we don't need your permission. You see, that's one of the things that is very important in this matter, the fact that they don't need the US or anyone's permission to develop missiles. It's absurd.
Now remember, they've got all sorts of things that Iran's a dictatorship and there's no democracy and all these stories. So let me ask you a question. Why is it that the United States, we the taxpayers, have to look at this and say, well, wait a second, you got a country over there that's supposedly bad, and we should go over and take over them? What the hell are we thinking? Iran is a sovereign nation. It's been sovereign for how many thousand years? Whatever, forever. Way before Israel was even created, way a long time ago. Like Yemen. Yemen is one of the oldest countries in the world. And we went after them, and look what they did to us. They sent in a hypersonic missile, one of the first ones they launched. It took 6 minutes and 40 seconds to travel 2,400 kilometers. That was the first missile. Then they got really sophisticated. Then they took like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to get there, all the way from Yemen. And you saw how successful they were, where you didn't see it on the Western media, but if you watch it, they were very successful hitting Israel. And then finally, when Iran had enough, they brought out some of their hypersonic missiles and showed Israel exactly what they could do. What's interesting about when they launched the missile attack, they didn't just blow up everything. They blew up strategic targets of the IDF and strategic strongholds of the IDF, like the fuel depots and stuff like that, and their airports to show them, no, we aren't going to sit back and wait for you to try to destroy us. We're going to show you real quickly what we have the capacity of. Those missiles that they had then aren't even close to what they have now. They have hypersonic missiles that literally could hit Israel in a minute. In a minute. You're talking Mach 10, Mach 8, Mach 12 missiles that have the capacity to, they kind of look like nuclear bombs, but they aren't, but they're so powerful that would obliterate it. Then think about this. Think about being an Israeli, just an innocent person from Israel, a Jewish person, non-Jewish person, not Zionist. I don't even want to talk about them, but the regular, normal people. They're going to be hit, and they did nothing to attract this, but they did allow their government to dictate to them what they're going to do with their tax dollars. But who's paying for all of this? The United States taxpayer. The United States is paying for a bulk of all of this. So we're allowing Jared Kushner, who has this master plan, and they said, oh, it was the new future city of Gaza. If you look at the total plan, it's the entire coastline.